a few minutes here and I'll send it to you.
3.
Or when I point you, we'll go in. Oh, wait, I can't do that. I have to do it
We are live.
Hey guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Rockin' Angels Show with Scott Gruenwald. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, good. Jackie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great. It's going to be better.
It's good. Is it dark over there yet, or it's daylight here still? So.
Well, I'm coming to you guys live tonight down in New Orleans, so or at least like close to it. So I'm a little bit ahead of you. It's about 6 p.m. where I'm at.
Yep. I'm in Vegas. The sun's starting to go down. Kind of creepy.
I'm in I'd love to say West Hollywood, but I'm actually in my garage in Fresno, and it's sunny. Sunny and mild. Like me. Thank you guys for bringing me on your show. I really appreciate this. And the reason I'm not looking straight is because I had some damage to one of my eyes, so I have to use a big monitor over there.
Okay.
Yeah, something like
How's
that.
Are you doing okay, Scott?
How are you doing?
Double vision. Double vision, so I'm seeing 8 breasts right now.
That's not a horrible thing, is it?
It's not on a Doberman picture, maybe, but not here.
Well, we love having you on tonight. We've been dying to have you on for a while. So
I tried to get on last week, had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us what's going on with you. Well,
these days, now that I'm kind of home and I've got, we've been working on a project called 311 Main Street for a while, and it's slow moving. The accident put us back. I'll try this here. It put us back a month or two because we couldn't do anything in November. But it's going to be a show. We've done a lot of shows and we've worked with a lot of producers and we were like a lot of people and a lot of networks and stuff like that. And we thought, let's do a show where we do it. And none of us know what we're doing. But we created 2 characters, and it's a scripted show with Jax and Dutch. And it's a good product, and I think, and we're going to give it away. So with the help of CMAC, True Realm Media, George Martinez, we're going to be able to get a pretty good run on this in January. So hopefully soon we'll be able to air something or shoot something and then air something. But other than that, I'm just kind of just winging it, staying home, still investigating when we can, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a magical time during these COVID months or whatever that we're doing. We're really getting to learn a lot about ourselves and what we're capable of doing. Yeah. So I'm a happy man. I'm really happy.
Well, that's good. So actually, Scott and I are actually the main characters on the show that we're doing, 311 Main Street. So I'm actually the Jax, wherever my name is on here. And so I'm actually super excited because I'm working on this project with Scott and Jeff and Jesus and a bunch of people. So we're all super excited to get that rolling. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited for you guys. I can't wait to see the outcome. I mean, watch the progress. Sounds exciting.
And we'll be shooting a lot in Central California for the first episode, if it just lands one episode. And then we'll do, oh, shoot. Let me turn this down now.
Woohoo!
Jesus from True Realm Media.
What was that? A drive-by?
Gone now. He was there for a second. So other than that, we've been doing some investigating, and we've, of course, working with Conkle Robotics, with Jeff Conkle, building some insane equipment that has really taken notice in the paranormal field. It's the evolution of the paranormal. We're going from these smaller handheld devices, which are fine. We know a lot of people use K2 meters and stuff like that still, and SLS cameras and stuff. And over a mistake Jeff made one night, we discovered that there's some amazing stuff going on that we can actually not just market, but share with the world. It's pretty pricey. We have a couple guys that don't make a lot of money building this stuff. So we scrimp and save and cut corners and do whatever we can to get this equipment out. And maybe I'll be able to show you a little bit of it for you. And then there's Jesus Martinez.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
So tell us what's going on in your world right now.
Well, I'm excited to work on this with you guys. And this is going to be one of the bigger projects that I've ever done. And we're getting prepared. We're getting all the equipment and everything ready for filming. And yeah, it's going to be great. We're trying to make it as professional as we can.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. It's a
I
great
am too.
thing to put together.
I know Scott really wants something like this to happen, and we're going to make it happen.
All right.
Well, tell us a little more, Scott, about like what your character is about, what Dutch is like, and what Jax is like in the show.
We took kind of the same old chestnut where you got a couple characters. One is one side of say emotions and the spectrum, and not that spectrum, but the other spectrum, and then like a really good person and a really bad person, and they'll use this equation, and then hopefully over series or even the first episode they start to mend. And where Jax is an amazing woman, she's got two grown children and one small child, and she's loving and caring and sunshiny and PTA mom and the whole thing. And that's Jax. And then Dutch is kind of a piece of crap. He's kind of a loser. He's spent his life trying to do things on TV shows and never really got a break at it. So he puts out an ad on Craigslist and she shows up at his door. They go through a lot of stuff together. They go through finding locations and stuff for a show that it's a naked show, and so we both will be naked on the show, blurred out of course, but so these two characters,
cookie down we call it.
Right now Jax and I have actually done naked investigating before.
Wait, hold on, can I ask you something? 311 is naked as well?
311 has a naked scene.
No. Okay. All right.
It has scenes in it. Yeah. It's not the same as what we did before. And one of these days, I'm actually going to have the entire cast that we actually did the first show. Are we allowed to talk about that, Scott?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's
so
cute.
Scott and I, we actually did a show before about a year and a half ago, and it was called Stark. And we had a lot of great people on the show. And so we're going to have an entire show one of these days where all the people from the cast, we'll bring them on and we'll talk about our experience making Stark. So that'll be a lot of fun.
And you know what? Stark was fun. Stark was.
We had an absolute blast making that show. We literally squeezed out an entire pilot in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was fun. We had a great time.
Well,
Is there a link, you guys? I'm sorry.
go ahead.
How do I do a link to show people? Is there a
Okay.
link on?
Yeah, go to Rockin' Angels, and you'll see the live video, and then you'll either share it or you'll copy the link.
Is that in their YouTube or is it Facebook?
Facebook.
Okay, let me do
Can we put it on the comments?
Okay. Hold
Yeah,
on.
you probably. I think you can do that.
Okay.
I think fine, yeah. Okay. Hello to everybody out there watching. I see. Hi, Nate, Patricia, Mike, Edward, which is here in the room with me.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Gary.
You got to refresh your page.
Oh,
I'm going to send you the link right now.
Ray.
Okay.
Did I miss anybody?
The link
Anyway, so tell us more about what's going on with you, Jesus.
All right. So, aside from filming and entertainment, I do work for a national health company, and I go to hospitals every day as part of my day job. So I really understand the risk of this pandemic. So getting screened every day. Every time I go into hospitals, I get screened. I get temperature checked, and I'm seeing what's happening at the hospitals here in Fresno. And it was scary at first, but
yeah,
it's not as much now because it seems like a lot of people know what's happening and what to expect and how to protect themselves.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we just found out that several of my family members have COVID. They've all tested positive in just the last couple of days. So it's very scary.
Yes, it is. I've seen patients being rolled into hospitals. It's very sad and very tragic for a lot of these families.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I hope you guys are staying safe.
Got it.
We're being as safe as we can. I think we're all 6 feet apart right now.
Sharon,
we're 6 feet apart. God, you look great. So what do you Zeus, what do you use on your hair?
Nothing. It's just my natural. I just let it do whatever it wants.
Natural poof.
Who cut your hair, Zeus?
I do. I've done it since high school, and it took a lot of practice, but I'm able to do it perfectly, exactly how I want. I was just not happy with barbers. They would never get it right.
Well, he's the only one that hasn't been sitting at home dying for the barbers to open, apparently, because the rest of the world is trying to get there.
Actually, I had an opportunity when I lifted a little bit to go in and get a cut, but I started doing this, and I'm like, I kind of like it.
So
Well,
Jackie,
it looks really good. I love this haircut on you.
Jackie, fill us in a little bit, and Scott, about Scott's history in the paranormal, so that we're all up to speed.
Well,
let us know about okay, so actually Scott and I met back in, what was it, 2010?
something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And then actually kind of reunited back in each other's lives at our friend's wedding.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So we went to a friend's wedding and ran into each other, and it's just been
Yeah, it was Andy and Michelle Kopik's wedding. And I was there to film, and Scott, we were just filming all kinds of funny stuff while we were there. But yeah, that's I know that's how I met you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was really fun. We had a great time. So anyway, tell us your history then, about where you started and what you've been doing all this time.
So, raised by a couple paranormal investigators. I hated it as a child. I was very embarrassed. Mom and Dad would take me out to cat shows and car shows, and Dad would have his turban, and Mom would have her tea leaves and Ouija board. And so I was really embarrassed. We were the weird house on the street, kind of, you know. So I bought it. And then when I was 16, I saw my first apparition at I went to get a job at this place called the Brookdale Lodge. And I lived down the street, and I would just like smoke weed and surf all day. That's all I did, is surf and smoke weed. So then I my aunt said I had to get a job or I couldn't live at her house anymore. So I went down to the Brookdale Lodge, and during my interview I saw this woman walk across this bridge, and I mentioned, "Hey, who's the hot chick?" You know, and he said, "Well, that's our ghost." And I'm like, "Oh God, you're preaching to the choir." I mean, I'm living this life. So we went up there and checked it out. There was no exit from where she walked, and I was like, "Okay, maybe, you know, like the court of law, maybe it's not proven that, you know," because I never saw nothing with my parents. You know, they never took me anywhere. So then years later, just like we all do, life gets in the way. We stop playing. You know, for the kids, for the people that had like shows in their backyard where they would do like West Side Story, or they would have a dog with a thing around its neck, and they do lion taming, and you played as a kid. And I got older, and about 30 years old, I started investigating again. And then when I was 34, I met a guy named Todd Wolf, and he had this old house called Wolf Manor. And I had an idea. I said, you know, why don't we do a show from here? And we did. And we became the very first show on the internet. You just couldn't pick up your phone and go live or do what we're doing right now. It took, we get there at 11, we'd shoot at 6 p.m. We'd be ready to shoot. We got a thing going on here. What's going on? Did you unmute or something? Or?
Yeah, I did.
Leave your buttons. No, he's okay. So anyway, so we had the first paranormal show on the web, and we had a stream company that all they were what they would do is people would use it just to chat back and forth, like one person to person, and we made it into a show. We were actually contacted by them. "How are you doing this? This is amazing." And we started getting a lot of views and a lot of attention. And then a lot of big stars, TV stars, starting with Patrick Burns through Zach, of course, Jason Hawes. Everybody wanted to come to this house and check out to see what we were doing. And we started shooting TV shows there.
Wow.
My interest in the paranormal kind of went more towards mainstream, trying to, TV and stuff. And people say, "You sold out." Yeah, you know, every seat. We started investigating, and then we started getting invited to places to do live shows. Well, Wolf Manor ended. The Wolf Manor Live ended, and then we started something called the Paranormal Stew, and that was more of a comedy show. Did a couple episodes, brought Jesus Martinez in to make it funnier, and we started traveling and doing this comedy show everywhere. And so I just became this paranormal comedian with my friend Jesus, which has no sense of humor whatsoever, and he made the perfect partner.
That's not true, is it, Jesus?
Yeah, it's true. No sense of humor whatsoever. Expect me to know how to make it look funny on
unless you have a
video.
great sense of humor. I know that too well.
Yeah, we did Paranormal Stew. That was a great run doing that. We got to know so many people. We did events. We did live skits. And remember how, Scott, we would put this together in like an hour before we went live. We put a skit together, film, edit, ready to go, and then we go live. And that's probably the funnest part of doing that show.
It was quite a run. You did it for a long time until I got a big ass head and I started not doing it anymore.
I'm just curious, what year did you start the whole thing with Todd Wolf? What year was that?
Zeus, was that 2008 with Todd Wolf? Wolf Manor? Yeah, the Wolf Manor thing. It was 2008, right?
Yeah, 2008 January was the very first show.
This is one of those people that
he knows. He knows it down to the hour, the minute, the second.
I'd call him up in the middle of the night. "Hey, when was my kid born?"
Yeah, it was windy that day.
Yeah, he's not kidding about that.
Tell him which birthday. "Oh, you were born on a Wednesday."
It was kind of cloudy.
So we did a lot of comedy, and we traveled around and did stuff. And then now we're just kind of, we made it. We had some interest in a show we were writing called Code Naked, and a lot of people approached us. Of course, forward content and left field pictures and stuff. They wanted to be part of it, and it just didn't launch. And so we took that idea, and that's where 311 Main Street came from. And we're not scripted actors, so we'll see how it how it looks. I don't know.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I'm really excited for this project.
Tell us a little bit more, Jackie. Where are you at? What stages are you in?
What'd she say? I can't understand. What'd you say, Kim?
What stage is it? What stage is 311 Main Street? 311 Main Street?
Oh, like where are we?
Yes. Are you just starting, or are you farther along?
Yeah, we're just barely beginning in 311, and we were actually going to start probably about a month or so ago. And for everyone out there who knows, Scott had an injury with his eye, and so we're going to put that off and start probably about mid to late January. And we're just going to start rolling and get things going. So we're all going to meet up probably and shoot some shows in Visalia and I think Porterville in California.
California.
Okay, so you're not on set. You're just going to be at different locations, or is 311 actually one spot and you guys travel, or?
311 is the address for our this place that we have, and it's kind of where we're shooting a lot of it. So like Cloverfield and some other places, it's a working title right now, but we kind of like it. That's just the address of where we were standing when we thought of this whole thing. And Cloverfield's the same way.
It worked out like that.
It worked out like that. And then so our main set. We have a set. It's the CMAX Studios, green screen, the whole thing, $1 million worth of equipment and stuff. But we're shooting on location, and we're going to do most of this with Apple phones.
Oh wow!
I'm sold, except for post production. I'm kind of sold on the Apple phone now. I don't have one, of course. They're too expensive. But we're going to do this. We're going to try.
I'm ready to upgrade. I've only got the 8.
You know what? I do have an 8. I have an 8 for my old job, but I don't have the 12. And this is the 12.
So the 12 is the one we're going to be using.
Yeah, to shoot almost the whole show.
Wow.
We've got
most. Impressive. I didn't even know that. This is news to me.
So we're not going to be because we have to follow guidelines for the COVID, as we understand that. But we also have there's a restriction on how many people and what kind of equipment we can use when we shoot a television show in California. It's like 9 people, and then you got to get a permit, which is free, but we're going to avoid as much as that we can. And then we're going to give this show away. Anybody, you can talk about, we don't do non-disclosures. You can talk about the show to anybody. You can invite people to be on the show. You can do whatever you want. And we're going to blast it on every social.
Yeah. We're doing everything totally the opposite.
Absolutely.
Is it kind of like a reality show, or is it just scripted and
it's scripted? It's gonna look like a TV show. Hopefully,
okay.
We're shooting it for friends.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. I love the characters. I love who we are, and the idea of what's gonna happen down the road and how our personalities change, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
This second episode will show a lot of that, how we've changed. Jax will be more kind of ornery with people that are mean to her. And Dutch is actually building a better relationship with his child. And
wow.
We're still casting. We have a couple parts left. We have to fill in. But other than that, we're ready to go. If this damn COVID would lift up,
Yeah. So the script is written and it's ready. You just got to work within the guidelines. Wow.
We hired a dialogue person, and so she's going to make sure. And then we have a continuity person too, so we don't have to really worry about all that, because Jax and I are pretty much going to just go with it. We'll take the ideas and we'll shoot it. We'll go, oh my God, that's way funnier than this, and we'll knock it out in a few days once we get everything on board. We got some really good locations. The casts that we've hired are the only ones that haven't been on shows acting is us. Me and Jackie. Everybody else has been in community theater or something. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, Brian Perry's in the chat room.
Yeah, we got a lot of people. If you have a chance, can you see the comments where you guys are?
Over here, I see some. Crystal Reese said, "Love your hair, Scott. Thank you." How do you respond?
I know your hair. I've never seen your hair look so good. I love your hair.
Thank you. And it's what it is because I work where I did work. I couldn't. I have to shave. This all goes up in hat because the back is all.
Okay.
You know what's funny is we have a friend of ours who has hair identical to yours, and he pulls it back and he puts this gigantic barrette. It's his wife's barrette. I swear it's probably like 2 inches wide, and it's like 5 to 6 inches long. And he puts this big barrette back there and holds his hair.
I have those squeezy things that have teeth on them. And sometimes I'll just grab it.
I love it.
I know you guys look amazing. You too, Jesus.
You look great, Jesus.
Sexy mofo.
And we have a sexy group here.
We do. We got a sexy group in the show tonight. It's the Kim and Jackie show.
I love it. You should play us a tune. Sing us a song.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
All right. Perfect.
At first I was afraid. I was petrified. I didn't know what it would be like without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights just thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong. I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. You wandered into that room without that look upon your face. I should have changed my stupid locks. I should have made you leave your key, but I can see that you are back. You're back to bother me. Oh no, no, no.
That's too funny. I love it. Thank you.
Pandemic.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry, the claps are on.
All right, Jesus, you're next. Let's go.
So what am I like the coffee boy now?
Yes.
I got 0 songs for you guys.
I have a question for Scott.
This guy's a talent, of course. That guy.
So Scott, are you going to move away from the paranormal field, or are you just kind of? Are you moving away from the paranormal field?
Because of 311 or what?
Yeah.
We're gonna see how this works out. I got an opportunity to work on a show, but I'm always going to investigate. You know, I love it. I'm not one of those 2 years. I'm in it for a while, and having a friend like Jeff Conkle and Jesus, we have locations, and the cool thing about it is 311 Main Street is actually one of the most haunted locations we've ever been to. So we are going to constantly keep pushing forward, trying to talk to the other side and see what we can find out. And with this new equipment, it's making it better and easier for us to do that. It's real pricey, so we probably won't market this stuff, but we will definitely use it. I love ghosts. I love Bigfoot. I love all that stuff. So I'm
same. And I was just wondering if you could tell us what other kind of equipment we are planning on using on the show.
We're going to probably use some basic stuff because it's not really about the paranormal. We just do naked paranormal on a show. So you'll see things like K2 meters and voice recorders and that kind of stuff. Yeah. As the show progresses, we will use some of the bigger equipment that Jeff if we can.
People understand, like, the show itself is not about the paranormal.
No.
It's just us, like, doing the paranormal on the show.
It's true.
It's a little different, but
it is.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to just being able to, reconnect with friends. It's been way too long. This COVID thing has been killing us.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're all looking forward to getting the band back together.
Here's your
Thank you.
coffee.
So
Thank
where
you,
does the
Jeffrey.
naked part come in? That's what I want to know.
Jackie and I had done some naked investigating before, and I've been the naked investigator for years, and then Jackie's also as well. We just kind of met because we both do it, and somebody had hit up. They were trying to put a show together, and they're hitting up all these people on TV, and they said, "Well, you got to talk to Scott and Jackie because they're the only ones really there doing it." Years ago, I did a show called Paranormal Paparazzi, where we met a group called Skin, Southern California Investigators Natural, and they did everything in the nude, and I got naked with them. And we start realizing that it was more than just being naked, looking at naked chicks. It's funny because when Jackie and I shoot the show, we've never seen each other naked because it's in the dark. The only people that see us naked are the people that watch the show because it's darkness. We've never seen each other, and it makes it more comfortable. But there's a vulnerability, there's an energy, and ghosts work off energy. So I know people that wear period clothing. I know people that actually bake cookies for ghosts and stuff. So this is a way to enhance the other side. Maybe they like naked guys and chicks. Maybe it's the energy that we put out because we're vulnerable.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say, because it makes us so vulnerable. We're just like literally at the most raw, vulnerable place you can possibly be in. And so there's no ego there. You've lost all that. So when you're there doing naked paranormal, your senses are heightened, and we actually get a lot of activity. So it's really true. We did.
As soon as they let go of Stark, we're going to put that out there. There's a couple legal things we got to do, and I ended up in a vault with a million other shows that nobody was ever going to see. So, with the help of Tony Del Vecchio and some other guys, Justin Tucker, those guys, as soon as they release it, we can have it. We can let the world see us.
Are you allowed to announce right now, like who else was on Stark?
Oh, it was a girl named Alex from Canada or somewhere. I don't remember anybody else that was. I'm on $1 million radio show. Can I call you back? Okay.
Give them some privacy. So
yeah.
So Jesus, tell us what's going on.
Well, I'm actually kind of excited to go back into that location that Scott was talking about, where we're going to be filming 311 Main Street, because it has
Calvin Klein.
Very good.
Hi, Jeff.
Energy.
Hi, Jack.
I think loves that place more than any of us.
Yeah.
He was super excited the first time we went in there. He was just loving the activity in there.
You know what's funny, Jesus, is I'm actually from Visalia, so we're just kind of like going right back to my hometown. So I'm super familiar with this area, the theater, the Mexican restaurant, everything that we're going to, the Zalad House. This is my old backyard.
Yeah, mine as well. I spent my teenage years in Visalia. I went to Redwood High School.
Oh, I was at Golden West.
Also my old stomping ground. So that's the thing about being out there.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Go Rangers.
Let's not talk about what year we graduated. I'm going to lie my ass off.
Quite a while ago.
I graduated like 2010, so that's my story I'm sticking to.
1990.
We have a question. I'm not sure what to take or how to take it. Is that a secret code, you guys, or how about kitchen sex?
Oh God!
Is that in the show, or is
that that was something that we joked about on our Christmas special, and I have a feeling somebody watched that show.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have another question. Let's where's everyone's favorite location? Anybody want to speak on that?
Garage.
Yeah, my garage. For looking,
yes.
For investigating.
Yeah.
These places have been torn down. Wolf Manor was a really big one for me. I loved it. But right now it's 311 Main Street. It's the forgotten.
Really?
We call it. Yeah, and it's it always delivers. We're very skeptic, so it takes a lot for us to like, oh my God. And you got oh my gods there a lot. So mine is Visalia, 311 Main Street.
That's awesome.
So same here. I mean, when the first time I went in there to investigate, I could physically feel the energy. Physically, I mean, it reacts to the environment. You feel the electricity, and it's something I haven't felt anywhere else. It's almost like I
What
was
happened
touching a
there?
spirit. It was very strong.
Can you give out the history of the building or no?
We can. It was built in 1904. And during the first maybe 3 or 4 years, there was a psychic medium who had a business in that building. We found that out. Jeff gave me that information with the current owner of the building. And it was actually built by a millionaire. She was female and was a millionaire, probably one of the only millionaires in Visalia in the very beginning of the 20th century. So she built that building so she can lease it out to businesses. And it's very historic. One of the few remaining old buildings in that city right now. So that history is very interesting. And it served as a business. I think there was an actual, if I remember correctly, during the research, there was a physical therapy doctor who also had a business in that building, according to the old newspaper and documents that we were able to find. And then after a while, it was rented out as apartments. And it was run as apartments up until maybe the 1960s. And then the above floors were abandoned and used for storage for the downstairs business, which was that Las Palmas restaurant.
Okay, so nothing demonic?
Uh-oh.
Right away.
You okay?
Nothing demonic. It's actually very positive energy. The spirit that I made contact with was just very loving, and there's no negativity. So there's nothing like that there. But it is occupied by spirits, at least one spirit in that building that lives up there and seems to enjoy the place.
Have you seen it? Have you seen its apparition? I mean, have you seen a full body apparition, or do you just sense it?
No, I have not seen it at all, but sensing it and picking it up physically is very easy to do, especially when you go in there when nobody's been in there for a long time. It'll be there. And Scott and I and several others that were investigating actually picked it up when it moved to different rooms. All of us together, we picked it up. It actually moved to different rooms, and that was the best part about it.
Sounds exciting. So we got a question about Bigfoot or cryptids. Anybody got anything to say about that?
Well, I'm actually in the South right now, so I'm going to be going squatching myself here in the next couple of days over the weekend. So I'm excited about that.
What do you mean? You're going squatching?
Yeah, we actually go out here in the woods and we look for Bigfoot. So this is a great location for, trying to find Bigfoot. So we're excited.
Do you have equipment?
Oh, I mean, for finding Bigfoot, we usually use like noisemakers, wooden bats. You knock on the trees and you just listen a lot. So you're just looking for evidence like, Bigfoot, like actual nests, like kind of like Bigfoot nests they make. You look for the habitats that they live in. Obviously, the Bigfoot actual, footprint. You look for things like that. So, that's basically what you're looking for is certain smells and basically you just make noise and then you try to get them to make noise back at you. You listen for like the Bigfoot howls and stuff like that. But
So
you gotta be because there are a lot of different weird animals out, and you can mistake them for something howling back at you.
What's the closest you've been to Bigfoot, Jackie?
Oh God, I like actually seen one or
whatever. The closest you've been.
uh,
Smell, hearing.
I mean, I've gone multiple times, and I've seen, different, like you think you see different tracks. I have never actually come across like a Bigfoot footprint in the ground, but you find things that look like maybe there might be something in that area. But I've seen like the Bigfoot, like the nest that they live in. And so Mike and I actually just co-founded a brand new Bigfoot group, West Coast Watchers. So yeah, Mike's going to be coming on. We'll be talking about that soon. But yeah, but pretty much that's about it, really. I mean, like I've looked down in like Louisiana, Mississippi, like the Alabama area, Tennessee, like different areas down here in the South. And there's a lot of claims down here. So how about you guys, Scott, Jesus, have you guys ever gone on a Bigfoot hunt?
Yeah, 2012, I went to Globe, Arizona to search out the Mogollon monster, and I went with a couple of guys that were retired from NORAD. They took me up there, and we found a couple, I guess you call them nests or some kind of habitats. We did get a footprint, found a lot of branches that were broken up high. But again, there's a skeptic thing. I mean, did these guys make this or whatever?
Yeah.
On the fence, I didn't know, we spent the night. It was snowing, I remember. I remember I was with my field producer who broke his foot. And so we were kind of nursing him along as well. The next day, the only people that were up there at the top of Globe, Arizona was the Mogollon group and myself. The next day we found a bunch of more evidence, and nobody got up in the because I stayed up all night. I'm sure I was like, I gotta make sure that this is in the up and up, especially the show we were doing. So yeah, I stayed up most of the night, and I didn't hear just a lot of snoring and farting, and then.
I personally think I've actually heard the howling, like you hear what they say, like the Bigfoot howling, the whistling back and forth. And I have actually heard that, like the wood knocks and things like that. I have had those experiences. I've never actually physically seen one. And that's like my dream, to finally see Bigfoot. But yeah, I have gone as far as like hearing it and finding like, the sticks that are broken, the branches. So, I mean, I believe there's something out there, but anyway.
There is. There's something out there.
There's something out there, yeah. Mike and I are actually going to be going close to the Willow Creek area up in Northern California next month, investigating that area. The Patterson-Gimlin, the famous footage that they actually saw Bigfoot walk by. That was like 53 years ago or something. Yeah. So, yeah, we're actually going to be checking that out. So we're excited.
Well, is Bigfoot dangerous? And has there ever been any Bigfoot attacks on people?
I know he's got flat teeth, so he's not a meat eater. So, I mean, as far as species go and development of species, they usually have sharp teeth. If they're meat eaters, carnivore, I think he's a herbivore. Just like a mama rat or anybody else, I think if you back anything into the corner, it will retaliate. So just so you keep a good relationship with them. And they actually say when you confront one, don't smile because you're showing teeth and they'll take it.
Oh, wow.
So back
I don't know too many people who'd stand there and smile at a Bigfoot. You'd probably it's literally my dream, and I'd probably be scared out of my mind. But excited.
Well, if you're naked, maybe you wouldn't.
There you go.
Yeah. It'd probably drag me off into the woods, but
yeah. Or
I'd be Mrs. Bigfoot at that point.
Video.
Bigfoot's bride.
Bride of Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So what else you got going on besides the paranormal, besides Bigfoot? What else you guys have going on?
Well, we have some really cool news. We're starting off a thing next week with some television people, and that's kind of exciting. We get to do some stuff. We have the I could talk about it. We have some stuff coming up on Discovery Plus with Zach and I. You guys got to watch this episode. It's a 2-hour special with at the Cecil Hotel. That's like really important to all of us. That place was just iconic for us. And a few of my friends have actually been down there. We did the search for Richard Ramirez. Of course, the young lady that drowned in the water tank. We paid off a lot of people just because they didn't like the paranormal back then. They just wrapped on filming American Horror Story hotel season, and they were like, we were done with ghosts and stuff. So it's been about 10 years that Zach and the guys have made attempts to try to get this place, and so they got it, and that's a big one, And if you've ever haven't been to the Cecil Hotel, unfortunately, it's going to be kind of like on something's Main Street or something. It's they're naming the hotel something different. They sold it, so that's an important one. Holzer Files season finale. Jeff, right? Yeah. You'll see.
I love that show.
It's really a good one, I mean,
that's a great show.
It's amazing. It's like they're going after files of this amazing ghost. And if you guys haven't bought the book, it's a $13.
Dr. Hans Holzer.
Yes. Great show.
Original.
Yeah. That's an excellent show. And what I love about that show is that's the show. They're talking about the facts that really happened. These are files that he really kept. So I love that show. That show is really fun to watch. Anybody who's looking for something good, that's a really good one.
It is. That's also Ghost Nation with Jason Haas and a couple of his friends. They know them. They're like incredible. They're doing it right. I think we lost Ghost Hunters, the next generation or whatever they called it. That's off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think A&E is done with all that kind of stuff, which wasn't really fair to everybody. But I mean, because the Ghost Hunters, the story of Ghost Hunters was everybody and their fat little brother wanted to get a paranormal group after Ghost Hunters launched.
Yep.
In what year?
2004.
And after that happened, everybody wanted to do it. Unfortunately, sometimes shows they sabotage themselves because people just start hating them, and that's where that with the drama and all that. And every 5 years, around with the whole drama, and the more that we use our social media, the more people are not gonna hey Tammy, are not gonna. They're just not going to get along, and I wish it was a paranormal unity thing. I mean, I've seen people over the years do it, but it's like, I don't know, So if you're into the paranormal, if you're in the chat room and you want to do it, go to some events, learn some stuff. A group, you can be the founder of the group, But my suggestion to anybody is stay away from residentials. I know people want to help. They want to help. You're going to do more damage. You're absolutely going to ruin these people's lives.
If you don't know what you're doing, it's so true. You can really do more damage. Don't go anywhere. If you don't know what you're doing, stay away from residentials and don't bother helping people. Honestly, let them go reach out for real help.
Yes, I agree.
With I
have a question, guys. Scott, on our Christmas show, we the guys had talked about the same old crap. Everyone is just doing the same old crap. It's like parakeeting off of each other. What do you think that, and you, Jesus, what do you think that we need to do to refresh the paranormal community and all the efforts that we're doing?
I like a reboot, but that's really impossible. So, like I said, every few years something happens. We get new equipment, and we get what's long enough, and Zeus can write by this too, that we start learning that other things work and doing naked investigating, doing things that are just
Well, we're keeping it fun too. I mean, it's not just about like science-based. We're actually, we're doing something that we're enjoying and it's fun. It doesn't have to be, just because it's paranormal does not mean it has to be dead serious and boring. The paranormal itself is, yes, a lot of it's science-based, but a lot of it's to be enjoyed. I mean, isn't that why we're all in it, to do something that we love? That's something that we have passion about?
Agreed.
Personally, I think we're all. Can you mute? Personally, I think that we are just all desensitized from the overexposure of these paranormal shows. And seriously, I mean, there's so many shows. There's so many people trying to do the same thing, and so for a lot of us, it's just frustrating. We are just overloaded, and so it's become a race of who can find better evidence rather than actually concentrating on getting good evidence and overdoing it. And I think that people really need to take a huge step back. There's a gazillion groups.
You know what I've noticed too is when you're just standing around talking to each other, being yourself, you're not trying to be like some paranormal king or paranormal god or anything. You're just standing there talking to your friends, or you're just down to earth being yourself. That's usually when we get the best evidence. It's like we're just in the moment being ourselves. We're not trying to be something we're not, and create something that isn't real. But anyway, it's usually when you're just having fun and you're just enjoying yourself, and that's when sometimes we get the absolute best evidence we've ever had or seen. And that's happening. It's like they're listening to us be real.
That's the way it works. If you've ever investigated and you're at the end of the night and you got all your equipment packed up, everybody's punch drunk, tired, and they
that's right.
All of a sudden something happens. I think that goes the other side would rather fit in other than being investigated.
Yes.
Life, so in death. A lot of people are shy in life. Why wouldn't they be shy in death? So when bring him in as a friend, come and hang out with us.
Exactly.
Yes.
Work a lot.
So for instance, I actually went to a location once with Scott, and it was at a location in Ventura, and we were literally just talking to the spirit that we knew was the haunted room of this hotel. And I was literally just sitting there being as real as I could possibly be and talking to the spirit like we were friends. And I said, you can come sit with me. And I knew she was from an era from a long time ago. And so I brought these trinkets, like an old mirror and a brush, and I welcomed her to come brush my hair. And I brought these really beautiful long dresses and said, you can try these on. And this went, our activity literally, and Jeff Conkle was with us. And we literally had activity for probably 45 straight minutes. And even I remember Jeff saying, this is blowing my mind, because we were literally just being so sincere and just down to earth. And we weren't sitting there trying to be all like, how many spirits are in the room. And it just, it's this people. I don't think the spirits communicate with that. I think they just like people to be real.
Speaking of that story, Jackie, is that the one you had the attachment from?
Yes.
And Scott and Jesus, have you had any attachments and anything negative?
We belong to a society that we people bring us items. Can't really talk too much about it, and we take the item and we send it to Zappos, or we send it to somebody else. Hey, Ron, and it's kind of a thing we've done and to help people out. So we bring a lot of stuff here. I think since we own this plane, we walk across this earth, and they are guests on our plane. We're not up in theirs investigating, we're on ours. We have the ability to cleanse ourselves. And a lot of times, a lot of people will just say, just leave me alone. And it works because they are guests in our plane. I've experienced weird stuff in my house after an investigation that is just like insane.
Yeah.
We seen the image of a dog walking on its hind legs and scary, a black snake thing with a face on it coming between the legs of the chairs.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've seen some stuff here at the house. A good cleansing can't hurt you. And if you believe in something, if you don't believe in God, but you believe in something, I keep a picture of my kids in my what am I doing here? I'm trying to get this out of my face. In my wallet, and that's my higher power to fight anything. Because I don't know if I was on my hands and knees, I can't say if somebody put a gun to my head and they said, "Would you give your life for Jesus?" I would. I don't know if I would say yes. I don't know if I would. I probably would not. But if they held a gun to my head and they said, "Would you give your life for your children?" Absolutely. Shoot me now.
Yeah.
So it's something that you really got to have, whether it's a crystal or it's something in your pocket, something with you. It'll probably have to keep you safe. But Zeus, on the other hand, is a magnet for this crap.
Truth?
Well, pretty much since 2003, as far as I know, I had an attachment and a partial possession that year. And this was when I wasn't even a ghost hunter. I was just a regular person, just working long hours and thinking that his mind was about to fall apart because of something that had to do with stress or depression or who knows. But this stuff was real.
Wow.
And I saw apparitions while living at home. That year, I witnessed objects moving, and I witnessed sounds that I couldn't explain. I witnessed objects that appeared in my hand. Like one night I went to bed and I couldn't find the remote control for my TV, and I was tired, so I'll just go to bed. And I woke up at 3 a.m, and the remote control was in my right hand while I was laying in bed. So that was the big sort of wake up call for me, saying that I'm not alone, and I need to start looking into this stuff. And lucky for me, the following year, Ghost Hunters premiered, and that's when I just dove in, and of course started the group. Martinez Paranormal Group a few years later. So yeah, I witnessed all of it. Where do you
think that started, Jesus? Where do you think that attachment came from?
I did research over the many years to try to find the origin of what attached to me, and looking through databases of aerial photography, history of certain parts of Fresno, because I was living in Fresno and Clovis at the time. And I found out that one place that I was working at had a lot that was not used by the farmers, while every other lot was. And I was able to verify it through aerial photography. There was this one lot where no farmer would touch.
Oh, wow.
And that was the lot where the place I was working at in 2003 was at. And there was a lot of claims that it was an Indian burial ground, and maybe the farmers early on knew that it was. That's why they wouldn't touch it. And the insurance company for the property said, okay, we need to get core samples. And they ended up digging out core samples of that lot that where I was working at. And they said they didn't find anything. But what's weird is that there was this large, very large trench that was dug out, I think around the 1950s, that I think may have been disturbed ground that started all that negative energy that eventually attached to me. But all of this is still speculation. This is all based on my research, years and years and years of research.
So I'm assuming that
I still don't know the definite answer of what got me.
Attachment removed, right?
I can't hear. Here, let me
Did you had help having that attachment removed? Was that right?
No, I did not. It eventually detached because I had moved to a different home, because it actually followed me home to the house that I was living in. And when I moved, it did not move with me, and actually had the home blessed and sort of created a spiritual shield. And I think that allowed it to keep from following me. So always bless your homes when you move in.
Yes. Good advice.
So true. Yeah, that's great advice. So we have a few more minutes left with you guys. Is there anything else you guys want to tell us? Any big secrets you can tell us? Something that people don't know about? Yeah, let's tell us about what that is.
Okay, so there's something called SlamTech technology, which is a simultaneously localization and mapping, which means that while we're ghost hunting, it will simultaneously keep track of us through algorithms. Am I saying that word right?
Yes,
algorithms, and it'll also constantly build what we're looking at. So this is similar to a sonar you'd find in a submarine. This is the new technology for ghosts, for ghost hunting. This thing spins at 600 RPMs, something like that. Yeah. And our screen that's on the front here will show us as well. If you remember the old Ghost Radar app, it was kind of funny. Everybody had it. It didn't really work. But so Jeff said, I'm going to build a real one. And that's what this is. So it keeps track of where we're at. And it constantly builds on the screen around us. Now, so if I was to turn it on right now, it would show the room that I'm in, and any anomaly, anything different than what me, the agent, that's called, and the constant building environment around her, it'll show up on here. So we were really capturing a lot of movement.
That's amazing. And Jeff built this, right?
Yeah, Jeff, this is the handheld. There's only one of these in the world.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm guessing that we either have seen that on a show or we are about to see that on a show. Is that right, Jeff?
Jeff says yes.
Okay, I love that. I can't wait to see it.
And he's got a lot of others.
Hopefully we can use that on our show.
Well, we might. This one has my face on it.
Oh, I love it.
So,
well, that means you own it now.
Yeah, that's the new stuff. So thank you guys for having me on your show. It was wonderful. And
I like coming.
Boob thing and
yeah, we got those. We got the girls.
we like to bring out the girls for the good looking guys.
Oh, that must be talking about Zeus.
Go ahead and post or give us your links or whatever you got going. Let us know so we know where to find you.
So we can share that with all of our followers.
I
thank you everyone who came in to watch this show. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jeff, in the background. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night.
Wait to see you guys soon in January, and we're super excited. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.